Outside the courthouse, huge crowds gathered. Combs' supporters celebrated with baby oil and cheers, but others called the verdict an injustice. Addie Guajardo.
You don't have to put everything out on the street. Like, why would you go out and spray yourself with baby oil and spray other people with baby oil? I'm pretty sure that's a crime of some sort. But as we've just seen, justice is not blind.
Has their reaction.
Press, spectators, and streamers packed in closely outside of court for
It's always the fucking streamers.
hours, waiting for a final court ruling.
On a fucking weekday. On a fucking weekday. You have nothing better to do with your limited time on this spinning wet rock than to go stand outside. How many of these people helped keep ICE from snatching their neighbors off the street? Like, you have nothing better to do on a sweltering hot New York weekday than stand outside a courthouse waiting for this sick fucker to what? To come outside and say hello? To thank you for your rousing support? To sign an autograph?
In the Diddy trial. Moments filled with support.
Free pop! Free pop!
Baby oil, a key piece in the trial, and outrage.
It's an atrocity. It's a disgusting decision.
The jury acquitted Sean Diddy Combs of the most serious counts.
The charges were too excessive.
And found him guilty of 2 lesser charges for transportation to engage in prostitution. Cassie Ventura, Combs' former girlfriend, testified for 4 days about her rocky relationship with Combs. And
he's beating the fuck out of this woman. He should spend the rest of his life in prison just for that.
Described in detail
And as Huey said in the Boondocks, not every famous nigga that gets arrested is Nelson Mandela. Like, this guy did some objectively fucked up shit. Some objectively fucked up shit. And like, why are you I get it. You grew up with this music. I did too. But that does not mean, like, we have to get over this fucking celebrity idol worship. Same thing with R. Kelly. This guy did some objectively horrible, disgusting shit. Oh, what's up?
And says she.
And every famous black guy that gets arrested is not Nelson Mandela. Like, we have actual political prisoners. We've got H. Rap Brown. We've got Mumia Abu-Jamal. We've got Kevin Rashid Johnson. We've got all types of political prisoners that fought for our freedom or who were railroaded for fighting for our freedom. And this is who you choose to lionize and worship and celebrate. America is a deeply, deeply sick, spiritually sick, as my grandma would say, sin sick country to celebrate. Like, this man is on camera literally beating the fuck out of this lady, and you're celebrating and dousing yourself and others with baby oil.
She says Combs physically abused her.
I was definitely hoping for him to be charged with the trafficking.
Ashley Potter says the jury ruling sent a clear message to women across the country.
I think it stays the same. That we're expected to stay quiet or deal with it because there's not really any.
This is why women need guns.
Justice.
But Katie Kessner, the executive director of Take Back the Night, disagrees.
I think despite the outcome of the Diddy case, it is so critical that victims and survivors not give up on speaking out, standing up, breaking the silence.
Hours after the jury ruling,
Everybody was like, oh.
the judge denied Diddy bail.
And that is justice right there. He should have got found guilty on almost all of those charges.
While some called it karma, others absorbed the news.
I think he should have been released.
That's the only thing we're looking at right now. The only thing we're thinking about, focused about, is him getting home to his family, his kids, and his mom.
But for now, Diddy's team is all smiles as they pose for photos outside of court. Addie Guajardo, CBS News, New York.
Absolutely fucking disgusting. Here's something else. If you're on Medicaid, you're fucked. If you're on food stamps, you're fucked. Actually, you're not fucked. As long as you don't think you're fucked. But a lot of people are fucked right now. Why? Because the left is fucking weak in this country and is too busy fighting and squabbling over what exactly comprises a treatlerite and what Zoran Mamdani is doing or is not doing and blah, 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 blah. But the Republicans in the House have passed the big butthole, big, beautiful bullshit bill, which basically stipulates that if you're poor, you can go get fucked. But thankfully, there are millions, tens of millions of poor people in this country who are going to be further radicalized by this. Everything has two sides. Every coin has two sides. Every shitty piece of legislation has two sides. You are not fucked. Thank you for the subscription, by the way, but you are not fucked. As long as you have breath in your body and you are willing to stand up and fight with all the rules of the art against this abominable bullshit. So you see these assholes. All of them have names and faces. All of them are up for re-election. None of them care about you. You see these assholes taking selfies after attempting to condemn millions of Americans to death. And they're happy. They're rich. They get health care on your dime. They have nothing to worry about. They go and they sit in Congress and they pass this god-awful legislation session after session after session. They take pictures with each other. They put on these ugly suits and they fuck you. Ain't you tired yet? Look at how happy they are. They've even got a kid there. If you're a kid on Medicare, if you're a kid on Medicaid, you're fucked. This kid is all right. His daddy or mommy, well, her daddy or mommy, is a United States congressperson or a United States senator. They have nothing to worry about. But you do.
Never would have thought showing up voting yes. And I will tell you, all the leaders I've served with, I don't think there's one that held this group together. Complicated majority, narrow majority, narrowest we've ever had. We were down to 2-vote majority at the beginning of this process. And Speaker Mike Johnson never one day wavered
This man is so deep in the closet, he's finding grandma's dildos.
On his commitment.
Mike Johnson, although I'm pretty sure the guy speaking is in the closet too.
Donald Trump absolutely was our closer, and Donald Trump never stopped. Every day was there in the fight.
If only that fucking inbred had aimed like 2 inches to the right. So this is part of your big, beautiful bill. Alligator Alcatraz officially opened for business today. And this is where your money's going. You've got your ICE budget, which is now bigger than most of the world's militaries. Israel's military, which we pay for, which your tax dollars go to, Israel is here. And ICE is here. So it's about to catch up with Canada. And this is for your neighbors. This is for you. And you also have an attack that's going on birthright citizenship. So you have a fascist paramilitary operating under the cover of law in this country. This is where your tax dollars are going. This is where your food for your kids. This is where your health insurance. All of it is going to this raggedy ass piece of bullshit. I give it a week into this operation of this facility. Oh yeah, it holds kids too. Yeah. So did concentration camps. So did extermination camps. So my guess is they are trying to overcrowd this thing and basically let nature take its course. Okay, the weak, the sick, the elderly, they're going to all be crowded in. They're going to suffer. They're going to catch diseases. This is an extermination camp. We have a comrade in the chat, Bri, your guy, whose son lost his Medicaid last week. It's going to get much, much worse. People are going to have much, much less to lose. So we're in for some exciting, exciting times. I give it about a week into the operation of this shithole before like a mass escape. Like if you're throwing a bunch of people you just snatched off a construction site, they know how to make tools. They know how to use tools. They're going to know this shit is raggedly, horribly constructed. And they're going to break the fuck out of here. This is going to be an escape every week. They're going to call it In-N-Out Burger because that's exactly what it is. Look at this. Also, fuck Laura Loomer. And don't think that just because you're an American citizen, you want to end up in places like this. Because they've got a, yeah. they've got a plan for you too. So you've got ICE, whose budget is larger than the militaries of Italy, Israel, which we pay for, the Netherlands, Brazil, and Switzerland. Okay, these are not third world countries. These are not weak countries. They have very, very capable, strong militaries. But ICE outranks 5 of them in spending. Well, how much of that Ukrainian budget is ours? Oh, yeah. This is what the ruling class has decided to be normal. You have contractors already working there. They've covered their fucking horrible. I can tell that says classic recycling. And my vision ain't that great. So they're trying to cover their U.S. Department of Transportation and their logos, which 1 is illegal. And 2, if you're going to try to hide some shit, at least actually give half an effort. So yeah, this person is working at Alligator, Alcatraz. I know that there's journalists down there. They know that there's people that are paying attention. They know that there's people who disagree with these atrocities and monstrosities that are being committed. And they know that they're doing wrong. That's why they're taking such pains to hide themselves. But like, what a pain. That's no pain at all. You just slap some fucking cheap ass tape on it.
We are here to demand access to this
They're not allowing Florida lawmakers to go in. Why? Because they know that horrible things are going down in there.
detention facility. Based on reports that we've been able to glean, the site is already experiencing flooding. The first individuals who have been detained with no due process have arrived. And it's so essential when you have hundreds of millions of public dollars being spent on a political stunt that we have the ability to see for our own eyes what is happening and to be the voices of our constituents. We are here to demand access to this detention facility. Based on reports that we've been able.
Well, pursuant to Florida Statute 944.23.
What they're basically trying to do is open up a U.S. CECOT. But unlike CECOT, this shit is built with ticky-tacky. So you've got Gilmar Abrego Garcia, who has been returned to the United States. And a document was filed in federal court where he discusses the horrible things that happened to him at CECOT. So this is a document that has been filed in court. So, yeah, let's see what's happening down in it. Let's see what's happening down at CECOT. And this is basically just like giving an account of all the horrible illegal shit. So, they took this dude with this kid. So, in March 2025, March of this year, in the early afternoon of Wednesday, March 12, 2025, after completing a shift as a sheet metal worker apprentice at a new job site in Baltimore, plaintiff Abrego Garcia picked up his 5-year-old son from his grandmother's house. While driving with the son in the backseat, plaintiff Abrego Garcia was pulled over by ICE officers acting at the direction and under the supervision of defendant Baker's predecessor in office. One ICE officer, who identified himself as part of Homeland Security Investigations, HSI, if you've been watching videos of LA and various other raids around the country, you are very familiar with that acronym, told plaintiff Abrego Garcia that his status had changed. Within minutes, plaintiff Abrego Garcia was handcuffed and detained in one of several ICE vehicles on the scene. Plaintiff Vasquez Sura was called and instructed to appear at their location in 10 minutes to get her 5-year-old son. Otherwise, ICE officers threatened that the child would be handed over to CPS. The ICE officers who carried out this vehicle stop and subsequent arrest did not have a warrant, nor did they have any articulable reason to believe that plaintiff Abrego Garcia would flee before a warrant to be obtained. So they targeted this guy. They were asking this guy about gang affiliations, which he does not have. The dude was a working man. He was a sheet metal apprentice. Shout out to the building trades for actually coming to his defense. So they basically lied about where he was at. This guy was in El Salvador. They were still saying that he was in fucking in East Hidalgo. So on March 15th, 2025, defendants deported 261 non-citizens, including 238 Venezuelan nationals and 23 Salvadoran nationals, to El Salvador, without going through any legal processes whatsoever in front of an immigration judge. Plaintiff Abrego Garcia was one of those 23 Salvadoran nationals who were sent to the country's mega prison, CECOT, the Terrorism Confinement Center. Mind you, this man was not a terrorist. They had no reason to believe that he is a terrorist or has ever been a terrorist. He was a fucking sheet metal apprentice, a union man and a working man with a child that he was struggling and working to take care of for this ungrateful piece of shit country. Upon information and belief, all defendants are aware that the government of El Salvador tortures individuals detained in CECOT. Indeed, U.S. President Donald Trump has made comments to the press expressing glee and delight at the torture that the government of El Salvador inflicts upon detainees in CECOT. CECOT conditions have garnered attention from human rights organizations. Each of the 256 cells is intended to hold approximately 80 inmates, but often holds nearly double. So imagine being one of the 160 poor motherfuckers that are being held in one of these 256 cells. The cramped cells are equipped with tiered metal bunks without mattresses, 2 basins for washing, and 2 open toilets. There are no windows, nor fans, nor air conditioning, despite the region's warm and humid climate. So yeah, you're going to pass out. Inmates in CECOT are confined to their cells for 23.5 hours daily. You only get 30 minutes for whatever the fuck else you do outside of your cell. They cannot go outside. They cannot read. They cannot have letters from friends or their family. Inmates are prohibited from receiving visits from family and friends. Meals are provided through the bars, and the facility enforces strict regulations to maintain order. In May 2023, Cristosal, a leading human rights organization in El Salvador, released a comprehensive report detailing severe human rights abuses within the country's prison system, especially at CECOT. The investigation documented the deaths of 153 inmates between March 27, 2022 and March 27, 2023, attributing many to torture, beatings, mechanical asphyxiation, which normal people call strangulation, and lack of medical attention. Autopsies revealed common pattern of lacerations, hematomas, bruises, sharp object wounds, and signs of choking or strangulation. Survivors reported being forced to pick food off the floor with their mouths, shocked electrically, and exposed to untreated skin fungus epidemics. Yeah, you're in a humid climate with no air conditioning, no climate control whatsoever. You're gonna get some type of funky fungus that's gonna eat you alive. Cristosal's director has emphasized that these systematic violations have become state policy. Plaintiff Abrego Garcia reports that he was subjected to severe maltreatment upon arrival at CECOT, including but not limited to severe beatings, sleep deprivation, inadequate nutrition, and psychological torture. Abrego Garcia was the first name called to disembark the plane that transported him to El Salvador on March 15, 2025. As he exited the aircraft, still in chains, 2 officials grabbed his arms and threw him down the stairs, forcing his head down. There were strong lights illuminating the area despite it being nighttime, and cameras were filming the detainees' arrival. Plaintiff Abrego Garcia was pushed toward a bus, forcibly seated and fitted with the second set of chains and handcuffs. He was reportedly struck by officers when he attempted to raise his head up. He observed an ICE agent on the bus communicating with Salvadoran officials to confirm the identities of the Salvadoran nationals on board before the bus departed. Upon arrival at CECOT, the detainees were greeted by a prison official who stated, "Welcome to CECOT. Whoever enters here doesn't leave." A very Nazi-esque slogan. Plaintiff Abrego Garcia was then forced to strip, issued prison clothing, and subjected to physical abuse, including being kicked in the legs with boots and struck on his head and arms to make him change faster. Yes, I will definitely put this in chat. Show all your friends so that they know what is happening. Show your friends, especially if they voted for Trump, so that they know what is happening with their tax dollars. By the following day, after being frog marched to cell 15, being beaten with wooden batons all along the way, he had visible bruises and lumps all over his body. In cell 15, plaintiff Abrego Garcia and 20 other Salvadorians were forced to kneel from approximately 9 p.m. in the evening to 6 o'clock in the morning, with guards striking anyone who fell from exhaustion. During this time, plaintiff was denied bathroom access and soiled himself. The detainees were confined to metal bunks with no mattresses in an overcrowded cell with no windows, bright lights that remained on 24 hours a day, torture, and minimal access to sanitation, torture. After approximately 1 week at CECOT, prison director Osiris Luna and other officials separated the 21 Salvadorians who arrived together. 12 individuals with visible gang-related tattoos were moved to another cell, while plaintiff remained with 8 others who, like him, upon information and belief, had no gang affiliations or tattoos. As reflected by segregation, Salvadorian authorities recognized that plaintiff Abrego Garcia was not affiliated with the gang, and around this time they explicitly said that they were not gang-related, telling him that your tattoos are fine. Then, while at CECOT, the officials repeatedly told Abrego Garcia that they would transfer him to the cells containing gang members who, they assured him, would tear him apart. Indeed, plaintiff Abrego Garcia repeatedly observed prisoners in nearby cells who he understood to be members of gangs violently harm each other with no intervention from either guards or personnel. Screams from nearby cells would similarly ring out through the night without any response from prison guards or personnel. So this guy was literally hearing people die, and nobody gave a fuck. During his first 2 weeks at CECOT, plaintiff Abrego Garcia suffered a significant deterioration in his physical condition, and he lost approximately 31 pounds. He was 215 pounds when he went in, and when he came out, he was 184 pounds. Then they staged a picture. They took Abrego Garcia and 4 other guys to a different module in this hellhole where they were photographed with mattresses and better food. These photos were staged. Then they took him to another prison. They hid him from visitors, and he was denied any communication with his family or access to any lawyer until Senator Van Hollen visited him almost a month after he was taken to this shithole. So that's what's going on. Trump knew that this guy had no business here. They knew it. They just do not care. These are people that get off on torture. These are evil people. They cannot be fought through means that you are used to. So you got to get with it, because this is just going to get worse and worse. And of course, there's always corruption. There's always corruption with these people. DeSantis and his cronies are going to make millions and millions and millions of dollars from this jankily built shithole. They're ripping $20.8 million off what's basically a fucking Auschwitz wedding tent construction. That's the best way I can describe this. It's not funny, but sometimes shit is just so stupid and asinine you have no words for it. You also have the indigenous people, the Seminole tribe of Florida, who are not happy at their traditional ceremonial lands being used for this atrocity. Words cannot encompass how much I despise that chant.
This is what democracy looks like! This is what democracy looks like!
The audacity in coming to our home and thinking they can do something like this, when we are who we are and we have a reputation that we have, we don't surrender. We didn't sign a treaty, and we didn't sign off on this.
This is what a patriot looks like! This is what a patriot looks like! No! Alligator, Alcatraz! We say no! Alligator, Alcatraz!
So yeah, there's already a pretty strong coalition building against this, as it should be.
No! Alligator, Alcatraz!
The land is our brother and sister. We see, and if you believe in the ancestral knowledge that has been passed down, that is the belief. So to hear, people saying that, oh, it's just about the poop that's going to be coming, the sewer systems that are going to be getting flooded into our water and things. It's like, yes, and more. There's always another first, second, third order of effect to things.
Jesus, that's an old video. You still watch that old shit? Lovely.
Like that, let's go.
Who do I need to call? What do I need to do? No president more directly engaged.
I'm about to throw the fuck up. I don't know what that is, but it looks nice. Oh, you bought your first car. Congratulations. Israel is constructing tunnels that Palestinians will be required to pass through in the heart of the West Bank, making large parts of the occupied territory accessible only to Israelis. The aim is to remove the Palestinian presence around Jerusalem. Calling me like nothing surprises me anymore. And of course, you also have Zionist scum that are coming to attend summer camp in the United States and massacre people all year round, and then they come to the United States and go to summer camp to refresh themselves, recharge, have fun. You should not be letting them do this. They should not feel comfortable coming to our country to engage in these horrible, horrible fucking things. But here we go. Here we are. Duffel bags are dug up out of basements. Toiletries are laid out on carpeted floors. Emergency trips to the drugstore. One final item, last-minute clothing decisions. Bags of carefully curated candy. Tearful midnight goodbyes to school friends. So you have these Zionists that are coming here to go to sleepover camp. These are called shlichim. The more Zionist camps are on the Jewish camp spectrum. Apparently there is a very, very strong tradition of Jewish, not just Zionist, but Jewish summer camps. Go out, enjoy the weather. Apparently a lot of them back in the day were integrated. And a lot of them were also left-wing. That's where the whole red diaper baby tradition comes from. Like, you literally had communist summer camps in America. Americans have the chance to do a rare good deed to the world, for the world. We've had many opportunities to do rare good deeds for the world, but despite our raw reputation, Americans generally are a bunch of punks. But I think things might be changing. 1,500 IDF soldiers are going to be spread out over 158 camps across Turtle Island. How many of these 1,500 are on the ground in Gaza? How many demolished universities and schools and hospitals as they yelped with glee? How many sniped children in the head from afar? How many paraded on their tanks and pilfered women's lingerie? How many danced in destroyed and looted houses with the Torah? How many dropped bombs from airplanes? How many controlled drones from a Tel Aviv office building, raining down death and fire and leaving shredded bodies and lifeless Palestinian corpses in their wake? So the author of this article read articles celebrating Israelis detaching and detoxing from the war at placid summer camps. I saw somebody on Twitter say that. I wonder if the early Americans were like Israelis. Yeah, if you know anything about American history, yes, these people were they were worse. Like, it's impossible to be worse than that, but yeah. Far, far worse. Read about the Sand Creek Massacre if you don't believe me. I can't read to you about it because I'll probably get banned. It's that fucked up. Yes.
Hey everyone, I'm not a team of people. I'm just...
You would love to hear my thoughts on kites in the OCR. You know, kites actually denounced the organization that I used to belong to, For the People. They really did not like our... well, they didn't denounce us. They just issued a very, very strong criticism. It's called Malcolm X did not dish out free bean pies. They appear to be doing a lot of work on the ground. A lot of work on the ground. It's good. Besides just sitting around and writing shit. But, they're all right. A bit siloed, a bit sectarian, a bit stale and dry and dogmatic, but they're not the worst people around.
One person. If you want to support the work I do, there's 3 things you can do.
What's up, Arun?
Number 1.
Free Tamil Ilam.
1. Please subscribe for more videos like this. Number 2. Join the Patreon. You can access the amazing... In the Iron Wall, the Israeli Prime Minister David Ben-Gurion was convinced, based on books given to him by then IDF Chief of Staff Moshe.
If it's not too much, I was wondering if you could cover an issue that's getting zero attention at the moment. Yeah, DM me on Twitter.
Dayan, that Israel had a historic right to the Straits of Tiran because it belonged...
That guy with the eye patch, his name is Moshe Dayan. I remember reading about a southern sheriff that arrested Martin Luther King, and he was talking to a reporter. And Dayan, I think this was during the fucking 6-day war, 7-day war. They've had so many wars over there, but like the fucking sheriff was like, "You see that fella there? That's one of the toughest fuckers on the face of the earth." So yeah, if a southern racist sheriff in the 1960s admires you, you're not a good fella.
To an ancient Jewish kingdom. The tripartite military alliance between the French, the British, and the Israelis gelled at a secret conference in France from October 22nd to the 24th, 1956. Ben-Gurion offered what he called a fantastic plan for the reorganization of the Middle East. Jordan was not viable as an independent state and should therefore be divided. Iraq would get the East Bank in return for a promise to settle the Palestinian refugees there and to make peace with Israel, while the West Bank would be attached to Israel as a semi-autonomous region. Lebanon suffered from having a large Muslim population, which was concentrated in the south. The problem could...
How can you suffer from having a large Muslim population? If anything, Muslims have been a benefit to any society that they've been included in.
be solved by Israel's
they did civilize Europe after all.
Expansion up to the Litani River, thereby helping turn Lebanon into a Christian state. The Suez Canal area should be given international status, while the Straits of Tiran and the Gulf of Aqaba should come under Israeli control.
I love how these people just sit down in these lovely rooms and just like parse out the destinies of millions of people. Like, you didn't ask the Lebanese, you didn't ask the Iraqis, you didn't ask the Jordanians, you sure as fuck didn't ask the Iranians. You didn't ask the fucking Palestinians whether or not you can exist in their land in the first place as an independent state. But yeah, let's just sit down and make another mess.
To ensure freedom of navigation. A prior condition for realizing this would be the elimination of Nasser and his replacement with a pro-Western leader who would also be prepared to make peace with Israel. This plan, in his estimation, would destroy Arab nationalism. The French, writes Schleim, patiently listened and politely declined. British Foreign Secretary Selwyn Lloyd, for his part, made clear he wanted to topple Nasser as well. But the Brits categorically rejected a three-pronged attack and insisted it be led by Israel, with France and Britain trailing.
Holy shit. What the fuck? So, Arun just sent me this in DMs. During today's excavation of the Chamani human mass grave in Jaffna in Sri Lanka, 2 additional sets of skeletal remains suspected to be those of children. Yeah, that's definitely a little kid. Have been identified. So, Chamani mass grave. I've never heard of such. Let's see what horrors happened here. If the UN. Volker Turk. That's a name. Okay. So there were 19 people found at this site. Apparently this was during the civil war that took place. If you want to know anything about Sri Lanka, you should ask Arun. I've definitely learned a lot. All I knew about Sri Lanka before talking to Arun was that it was just like it was a former British colony. They called it Ceylon. But yeah, pretty fucked up shit happened there. And this is dozens, one of dozens of mass graves like this. Tens of thousands of people were killed during this 26-year-long civil war, and thousands more just fucking disappeared. So yeah, they were even going around taking out little kids.
I just go with him. And when did it happen?
It was discovered somewhere in February.
Crime scene site or not? And we
Yeah.
have
we have to, but yeah, I mean it's
2 we have excavated.
yeah.
Because they use the excavator just to make a building. So first small bores initially we planned, but now since it's coming.
And then we started the pit test from mid of May, and then we started as well as their family members also went on missing during
Okay. You're also family members.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
when he was arrested in
96.
1996. He was only 19 years old child.
Yeah.
I can give it to the copy.
Yeah.
I guess that's one of the guys that was buried in this grave.
Yeah. I'm here at a mass grave site, Chemani, near Jaffna. And it's always very emotional to visit places where the past, the haunting past, becomes so visible. When you are at a mass grave site, the one thing that needs to be done is thorough investigations, robust investigations by independent experts with forensic expertise who can bring out the truth and bring closure to the pain and suffering of family members whose loved ones were disappeared.
No.
This was a few days ago. This was June 25th. If I go to other countries, especially that part of the world, they just hand you handfuls of flour. I'm like, flowers. I'm like, oh, thanks, bro. I don't know what I'm gonna do with these, but yeah, cool. Thanks, flowers. Yay.
We believe in you. That's why we are going for you. Please give us a that's why we believe in you. Thousands of people believe.
Sister's son, but they couldn't get the answer from the officer.
I've also just met with family members of those whose loved ones were disappeared. A woman whose nephew disappeared in the mid-90s, and they are always worried.
Yeah, Varun, if you send me something and saying like nobody is talking about this, I think I should be one of the people that talks about it. I mean, I'm not just gonna be like, oh yeah, it's fucked up that this happened to this guy's people, but I'll get to it another day. No. It's the shit that people need to know about. Horrible things that have happened. Like, I didn't even know about this until you, like, literally hopped in my chat one day. I think I was interviewing a DSA NPC or NCC YDSA candidate, and you hopped in, and they were like, hey, you should talk about this. So, yeah, Arjun.
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's something that needs to be, like, paid attention to.
Happened to him. And this is always the pain and suffering that you feel when you speak to people who don't know what happened to their loved one.
Yeah, I was one of those people that didn't know, like, I didn't know anything about any of this. Like, I would not know anything about Sri Lanka and what happened there over the past decades if I hadn't talked to Arjun and thus hadn't talked to you. A very, very good advocate for your people. I admire that.
So this is a step further towards accountability and justice and bringing closure to what otherwise is extremely painful.
As well as their family members also went on missing.
Yeah. It's fucking frightful. Like, it's so much horrible shit that has taken place. Like, we all know about the Holocaust. We all know about the genocide that's taken place in Palestine over the past several decades. But, like, nobody knows about what's happened in Tamil. It's definitely something that needs more attention. The people that took part in this shit, that did this horrible shit, need to be held accountable. Like, you cannot just slaughter millions and... How many people even died in this? Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands, millions. You can't just slaughter a whole bunch of people and dump them in mass graves and expect them to be forgotten. That's sick. Hundreds of thousands that we know of, so it might even span into millions. And Sri Lanka is a small island, so yeah. Hold on. Arun wants to hop on. We'll let Arun hop on. If it works. I'm not using StreamYard today. Hold up. Works better with StreamYard, but whatever. There you go, buddy. Check your DMs. I need to find out more about this. Ah, shit. See, this is why I hate this. Arma can wait. I will be playing that later, but it can wait. Try now. I think this is more important than simulating a fucking war. Apparently there's some stupid fucking new regulations. I don't even know why people still go on Carnival cruises. How the fuck you pay thousands of dollars to go on a fucking cruise? A stupid ass cruise where you're probably gonna get sick from shitty food. And this is anti-black shit. Guests under 18 must follow a curfew. Like, you pay thousands of dollars to go on a ship with your family and they put you on under a fucking curfew. Like, why would you willfully keep subjecting yourself to this shit? Payday, and you're feeling angry, exploited, and unfulfilled as usual. And maybe you should go firebomb a Walmart about it, buddy. Don't do that. Please don't do that. I don't want to be the cause of you getting in trouble. Arun, is it working for you now? Nishanta Wickramasinghe. It's very difficult names, but they're not that hard to pronounce. On September 7th, 1996. Take the battery out. Take the battery out of the alarm. Take all the little shit out of there. 4 people went missing in Kaithari, Jaffna. One of them was a girl by the name Krishanti Kumaraswamy, a student of Chandikuli Girls' School who had just sat for her chemistry paper. She was a bright student who had received 7 distinctions for her O-levels. Krishanti had lost her father. She lived with her mother, Rasama, and a brother, Pranavan, a student of St. John's College, Jaffna. She had a sister, Krishanti, who was in Colombo. Do I look like the fucking smoke alarm fixer guy? Throw the damn thing against the wall. That'll stop it from beeping. Her mother was the former principal of Kaitari Muthuka Mara Swami Mahavidyalaya and was teaching at the Kaitari Maha Vidyalayam at the time of her death. Even though her mother was eagerly awaiting her return. I'm sorry for butchering the names, Arun. I'm a Yankee. I don't know any better. Even though her mother was eagerly awaiting her return from school, she felt uneasy when Krishanti did not show. Yeah, change the battery or hurl it against the wall. See ya. People just disappear mysteriously. Or eat the bat. No, don't eat the battery, you imbecile. Yeah. Horrible shit. Horrible shit. Ugh. Oh, man. Oh, there we go.
Hear me?
Arun, can you hear me?
I can hear you. I've been hearing you the whole time. Can you hear me?
Hello? Okay. Say something.
Hello?
I think you should be able to talk.
Hello?
This is why I hate fucking this.
Oh, can you hear me?
Well, you'll have to
I think
buy
Stream
another
heard me.
smoke
I think
alarm.
Stream heard me.
Oh, you can hear him, but I can't. That's racist. Hold on.
Okay, I lost him now. You don't have to. You don't have. Wait, 1 second.
If I'd known this was going to happen, I would have used StreamYard. But I can't hear him. This guy could be cursing me out and I wouldn't even know. Oh boy. Oh, shut the fuck up, you idiot Serb. Go shoot the fucking who's the guy? The fucking which one of those guys did you kill to start fucking World War II?
Oh, can you hear me now? Ah, shit. Okay, well, that sucks.
This is
that sucks.
In advance. But I can't hear you. Did I? Monitoring device. Go ahead, man. You know what? Go ahead. Fuck.
Can you hear me?
How
Can
the
chat hear
fuck
me?
could I? Bro. Go ahead.
Hello?
I'll just sit here not being able to hear anybody.